Hello, good afternoon. This is for third sessions that I'm going to talk about the curriculum development and appropriateness. So, curriculum appropriateness is being discussed here, basically looking at the curriculum framework, educational uh, roadmaps of Bhutan, and also looking at the syllabus. So the curriculum developer must look at some of the principles and then some of the the closely associated principles that need to be followed while developing the curriculum. So when we say the curriculum development, you may be thinking that you are a teacher and then maybe you never have to be involved in the curriculum development. Something that is going wrong in our system is that teachers are only to parroting in front of the students, just talk what is there in the textbook, because teachers are not wholeheartedly involved in curriculum development. So expectedly, the teachers need to develop the curriculum that suits our children's need. The study has to be done because teacher has to be engaged, because teachers know the best what our children needs, because they have been dealing almost every day. And teachers has to be totally engaged in the curriculum development and also the delivery. So here I'm going to talk about what are some of the principles that needs to be kept in mind while designing the curriculum. When I say these, we also need to understand what is expected out of the curriculum. How do we handle the curriculum? That is what is important for the teachers, even if you have not really engaged in the program development. So how do we need to orient our children? How do you deliver your lessons every day? That is very important. So I'm going to talk about these one by one. Okay, the developmental appropriateness. The every curriculum that is developed should be able to address the children's need, and it should be very very appropriate for their learning. And it must take into considerations of the Bloom's taxonomy, the three domains of learning. And also we must consider the different key stages. You cannot teach same thing for all from the PP to class 12. So we need to be careful what kind of activities, what kind of uh, uh, the materials that we want to deliver to our children. So is an culturally appropriate and very, is being considered to whom we are delivering the materials. So this is developmental appropriateness. Next is learners and learning. As child born, they start learning things from the surrounding. Everyday experiences are learning. So we need to provide our children with a variety of experiences, so that they are enriched day by day with newer and newer experience, meaning we are trying to provide them a new knowledge. So we must provide the concept, skills, and then also we must clarify their beliefs or the misconceptions. Teaching for constructing knowledge. Okay, this is a constructive approach of teaching science. Here we have to emphasize that our children learn on their own. uh, the the learning that has happened on their own is far more better than the learning that children gain from teachers or listen from the teachers. So here constructivist approach The curriculum must be designed in a constructivist approach, so that the children have a more freedom to explore, have a, that it stimulates them to do on their own, or motivates them to, to carry out some activities or some innovative works. And that's why the this kind of our curriculum, science curriculum, must emphasize this constructing knowledge. So the most of the time people think that constructing knowledge is all about practicals. Not necessarily the practical, but anything that you try to innovate, learn on your own, do on your own, try to explore on your own, and then see it, the modify to suit your needs. Some of the things that you get are the construction of knowledge. And now the other thing is, we must have, when you develop a curriculum, there should be a certain pedagogy thought of. Like, for example, for any science to be delivered, there must be a practical, and must be a proper way of assessing the students' learning. So pedagogy, when we say the pedagogy, we always have, that we already learn about teaching skills and teaching strategy. And when we talk about teaching strategy, we also think about now using the technology, ICT, into our classroom. So there are varieties of pedagogy that suits our children for learning. So we must provide more exposure and more opportunity for the children to learn on their own. So this is being emphasizing more on effective pedagogy. Effective pedagogy. Once more, the effective pedagogy is how well you can involve your children into the classroom. And you when you are involving your child, you will also see how well you are able to provide diverse skills and experience to the learner. So that is what is very important. Whenever you are acting in front of the children, you need to provide a lot of wide range of experience. Today we also can use ICT tools for teaching, learning, and assessment. We use ICT for learning because today, if you look at, our children are exposed to the modern gadgets, and they can get a lot of information from the gadgets, like Android phones. So if teachers use this kind of an opportunity to provide resources to our children so that they learn on their own. So today, even this ICT has become a beautiful pedagogy for the learner as well as for the teacher. The final one is also, we have to be very, very, very sensitive, because any curriculum that is developed must address the gender. So when the teachers are teaching or delivering a lesson in the classrooms, must consider gender. Okay, then this is language learning, and this is since we are teaching science, not necessarily the science teacher has to leave all the English grammars to the English teacher. We need to teach our children how to communicate the scientific findings to their colleagues or to anybody in the community. So we must be able to utilize the right scientific terms and the appropriate language. Knowledge and understanding. So now this is where comes anything that we see around, anything that we do. First thing is, you should have the knowledge about it. If you don't have a knowledge, then read it and then make sure that you know about it before you try to explain. This is what you call enhancement of knowledge can happen. Sorry, can happen by developing a curriculum that has really progressive curriculum enhances our children to learn better. Culturally, now our curriculum must be culturally fit to be delivered in our society or in our school environment. The you know In our context, we have seen that we must be a self-disciplined, and then we are always mindful of anything that we do within or outside the classroom. Uh, we that's why our we must even focus on to the some of the cultural beliefs and practice, but but our science should not be isolate from the culture and belief, so it has to go along. So this is very important because we try to clarify things, certain cultural misconception can be clarified using science. Okay, then this is further the value of you know living in a society. We must have we are not all alone, we are living with others, and which means we must understand that we have lot of other living beings around us, be human being, be animals, be plants. So we must try to understand that how they are associated with us, how are they benefit to the human being and to you. So that's why children must understand this core concept and need to develop a value core values, respecting and taking care, cooperating. So this is very important. That's why this is the kind of values that we have children has to develop, or the curriculum must emphasize the core values must be developed. Okay, then the relationship with other society. When we say this is the reason that there should not be any tussle between one society to another society. So our curriculum must address all this. And when we say our curriculum address, it means the teachers must be able to bring it to the classroom. Okay, now anything that we do in the classroom need to be taken outside and involved in the community. So our science is not confined really in the classroom. It should be taken to the local communities. Your teaching learning should happen in the local communities. Help the communities learn out of paddy plantations. Not necessarily that different steps is being learned in the classroom, but can happen within the community. So this kind of involvement of community is very, very important for both children as well as for the community. Local knowledge, which is so important because many of our children today, they don't know what happens within our community. So in order to provide such a local knowledge, availability of rich varieties of biodiversity, which is so important for every children in Bhutan. It must be shown, it must be taken to them trips, or so that they appreciate our own environment. So these all different values, different principles actually. In fact, this has been incorporated within our science curriculum, but the only thing is how the teachers bring out into the practice. Now, final one is the GNH, gross national happiness, science and the gross national happiness. So anything that you teach, anything that you deliver in the classroom must address the gross national happiness. So it is not the happiness of an individual that makes the society happy. You must be should grow all together, should die all together. So that's why our lesson must be such that it also triggers in the mind of our children about gross national happiness. Gross happiness, not an really thinking about self. Okay, now let's look at these. These are some of the questions that might arise when you have gone through those different slides. Critically reflect the every point that is given below. Okay, I will just read through. You need to go through later and then try to reflect on it, and then maybe you will be given one questions on the VLE, and maybe need to answer that. Why is it so important to understand how the biology curriculums helps? Why is it important? Sorry, important. Okay, I'm just writing here. Why is it important to understand how the biology curriculum is biology curriculum is developed? Okay, this is the questions, in fact, that is what I wanted to put. All right, why is it important to understand how the biology curriculum is developed? That is what we talked about already. All right, now what we will have to look at is we have to check the currency, relevancy, context, how the context, where, how it is being developed. Is it to our context? Is it for everybody in the world? So contextualizing with our needs, alignments of learning objectives and learning outcomes, compare and contrast our curriculums with the worldwide others, how they are delivering, what kind of contents do they have, reflect the value embedded within our programs. That is how we saw, the if you look at just before, we have seen how the GNH or the cultural and the values is being appreciated through our curriculum. So the the other thing that we must consider are our program addresses the need of our community and our country. So definitely we have seen that our program address three learning domains: cognitive, psychomotor, affective domain, which is already we have discussed. So these all the points has been already taken care, but what you need to do is look at our syllabus from the science curriculum framework. Look at the syllabus that is being uh, taught in class 11 and 12. Okay, class 11 12, please refer to science curriculum framework. I'm telling you, not the syllabus. Please refer to science curriculum framework syllabus that is given at the end. Okay, so that is what you will have to find out, look at, and then bring out some of your thoughts out. Okay, if there are some arguments, some kind of unique, or some kind of which uniquely addresses something else. Second question: what is lacking in our curriculum? So that is what you'll have to look at. Overall, if you read it, what is being lacking there? When I say just what is lacking, then you need to know about what is science curriculum elsewhere. So briefly, you may check some of the science curriculum that is practiced elsewhere, and how are they different from others. So here it comes relevancy, up to date, and that is the research based, or is there lack of vocational skills in our, I'm talking about how is our program. Okay, program, when I say program, is our curriculum, biology curriculum. Is it addressing the vocational skill? Is it relevant to the needs? Is it up to date? Is it research based? Okay, then third question is, what will be the contributions of teachers in designing the best learning outcome? So now, after going through all these different slides, what will be the contributions of a teacher in designing the best curriculum? So maybe this would be the question that will be asked on VLE. Okay, and then maybe you can think about this. Now, where are the resources available for the teachers to prepare themselves on the contents, on the materials that you need to prepare before you go to the school? One is go to RAC REC websites, and for the textbook, teacher's manual, and the curriculum framework and syllabus. Go to Bixby for sample of competency-based questions or the items, and update students' annual performance. You can also see how the student perform in biology class 10, 12. So you'll also get to see what is competency-based questions. Okay, so because the Bixby is aiming to make all the questions on a competency-based. MOE for Ministry of Education. Today, if you look at the Bhutan Education Blueprint or the roadmap of education in Bhutan is being very well mentioned on the education blueprint. So you need to go through these, find out the objectives, find out what things has happened, what are the people's opinion, because these education blueprint is a big research carried out somewhere else in 2014. The other, besides our own textbook, there are certain similar to the textbook which we use. You may like to complement your reading, so if you like to do so, you can go to NCERT and get a CBSE books. You will get almost like our book textbooks. So you can look at these CBSE syllabus, and then there are a lot of, for example, biology. You'll get all different types of botany, geology, and you will get this agriculture. So these are available from this. Tamil Nadu Board is another where you will get a similar textbooks which you can use as a reference. The open resources book is from kindergarten to class 12 is also available with a lot of activities incorporated in it. So these are some of the resources that you can always download and keep it with you ready before you leave for the teaching practice. Now this is the questions that you are supposed to respond on VLE. Can a teacher's contributes in a quality teaching learning assessment include curriculum, pedagogy, and assessment? So if you say yes, teachers can contribute to bring a value in the students, what kind of curriculum, what kind of pedagogy, and what kind of assessments. So this is what you are going to write on a VLE. I'm going to put as a discussions forum. I'll just put a discussion forum, and then you will make a discussion over it. All right, and I hope this little presentation should help you to understand how the curriculum is being developed and how the teachers must adapt to the curriculum. Thank you.